Morning. Sun's out. Oh, it's a lovely day. This is Sam's TTRS. Has been nice and patient with us. We've had the car a little while because we've been waiting for the release of the new Audison Voce speakers. They're in there now and done. This was the first car with them ever installed. They were done on the day of release. We released a video of just an explanation on the speakers, which you may have seen, and then we fitted them to these the same day. There might even have been a couple of cheeky snippets in that video. Nothing crazy to be seen in here, as per the spec is for nothing to be seen, but I can tell you how I feel about the new Audison Voce line, and more importantly how well it mates with the amplification in here, which is the AFM 8.14, and they mate really well. Now I believe there's a ceiling for a speaker with a DSP amplifier. I don't think you should go too far when you have a DSP amplifier of sort of today's standards. They're good amplifiers, great application. You know, they have a great use case in not taking up tons of footprint inside a car, being efficient, so they're great for electric cars. But strapping, say, a 4 or 5 grand set of speakers to a DSP amp might be a little bit too much. These hit that Goldilocks zone, right? They're right in the sweet spot of where the sort of Class D DSP amplifier works well, you know, and of course and beyond. They work really well in this. Loads of energy, loads of pop to the sound. Do you know what I mean by that? It's yeah, quite rich and vibrant, and he's got bags of volume in there as well, and the speakers deal with it really well. So yeah, this came through. We've had this car a couple of times. Initially we did Sam's first TTRS. He then found a better one, so we swapped the sub box with the APBX10 AS2, the Audison active sub box, just as a simple upgrade in his standard Bang & Olufsen system. Found a better car, came in, swapped it. I'm pretty sure it was like the next day. And we were like, well, you know, what have we done wrong here? But it wasn't us, it was just the car. He found his perfect spec, which was this one. This is a 1100 horsepower car. It's absolutely bananas. I know nothing about Audi performance tuning, so I'll show you some of the modifications on it if you're into that. And yeah, so anyway, like I say, he's been through a couple of times. He brought this one through to have the sub box installed, and then he's come back through to have the full system done. I'm pretty sure his email title to me was, "It's time to do the full system." So yeah, it's all been done now. DSP amp, AFM 8.14 bit, the all new Audison Voce Ii. He's got the S mid bass, or the larger mid bass, got the mid range tweeters in there, tweeters in the dash top, mid range in the doors, all on our sort of printed baffles. And then he's got the AVX6, the Voce, the new Voce 2 coax in the back. I wanted them, Sam. Yeah, so they're in the rear as well. So yeah, we've got plenty of volume in this one. It's a hoot. It has to be fair, because the car makes a din when you start it up. It's wicked. It's one of those types of cars that rumbles the building a little bit. You know, you need to batten down the hatches when you start it up. Let's take a look around it. I'll carry on talking for a minute and then I'll let you go. I'm sure you're all familiar with how the TTRS interior looks. It's got this funky controller up here. Don't really know too much about what it does. We didn't install it. I think something to do with his ECU and his maps and stuff like that. But everything that we've done is tucked away. There's a rogue SD card here because we had to get it out of the front of the MIB unit. It was stuck in there. We've got our TTRS cup holder mount. It is a kind of a universal product of ours now. We can use that in any car where the owner may not want to use their cup holders. I know that it's kind of a polar opposites thing, you know. Some people would never want to lose their cup holders. I'm probably one of them. But if you're not going to use them, that is a great place for that controller, and it just sits in there. Minimal modification, you know, you can just take it out. If the cup holder has like a natural fitting hole in there, then you don't have to do anything. If you do, usually there's a rubber mat at the bottom and you can drill a small hole, bring the cable through. And with like the new generation of controllers, the plugs are tiny, so you can make that hole look pretty OEM, you know. We can't really get a sneak peek of the speakers through the grills here, but we'll have a go anyway, shall we? So yeah, all really straightforward inside the car. And then this is at Sam's request. The sub sits inside the cargo net. It's been there forever, so it's it uses its own sort of hyper strong Velcro feet which hold it down, so it just doesn't go anywhere. It's solid, and then the net is just over the top. To be honest, the net's probably not doing anything, but yeah, if you've not experienced how strong those Velcro pads are on the bottom of those sub boxes, you can quite easily damage something by taking it out too violently, you know. Cool car, this. Super quick, super noisy. Now it sounds wicked as well. Amp is under the seat, as you've seen in our other sort of TT videos. Everything's tucked away. There's no real footprint to be stolen. Obviously, he has his sub box in there. He's got his rear seat delete down in the back. Wicked upgrade. Great car. Love it. It's time for it to go home, which is always a sad day. All right. TT guys, or any car guys, give us a shout if you're interested in good sound. I'm Carl, Studio in Car.